I'm not ready for this. Whatever this is. What is this? Here's what this is. Out in the hallway, Jude had asked about Edie's treatment. Isn't she supposed to get her infusion today? He'd said. And the nurse had said cheerfully, Nope, we're all done with that. And so it seemed we were. Nobody exactly talked to us about this decision. It was like it had already happened, in some other time and place. You order a burger and the kitchen makes an executive decision in the back. We're out of burgers, your server says. There's just this plate of nothing with a side of morphine and grief. Ellen, the social worker, had taken Jude and me into her office to give us a make the most of her remaining days talk, while simultaneously clarifying that this most making would need to happen not there. We were confused. I'm confused, I said, and Ellen had nodded slowly, crinkled her eyes into a pitying smile, and handed us a pamphlet called Next Steps, Best Steps. It was about palliative care, hospice. But these are the worst steps, I said, because apparently nothing is too obvious for me to mention, and Ellen passed me a box of tissues. I feel like I'm mad at you, but also like this might not be your fault, I said, truthfully. And she laughed and said, I promise you, I understand. I liked her after that. Ellen tried to help us figure out what to do. Edi and Jude's son, Dashiell, is 7, and has already spent 3 of those years living with his mom's illness. Ellen wondered if bringing her home for hospice care might simply be too traumatizing, and suggested that inpatient care might be a better option, given the likelihood of a swift and harrowing end-of-life scenario. This seemed not unsensible. Dash's last visit had been a disaster. When Edi bent to kiss him goodbye, blood had poured out of her nose and terrified him. It had just been a garden-variety nosebleed, it turned out. But Dash, already fragile, was stained. Literally stained. Figuratively scarred. You might even have him say goodbye to her sooner than later, Ellen offered, so that he isn't worrying about when it's coming. When what's coming? I said. The inevitability of Edie's death was like a crumpled dollar bill my brain kept spitting back out. Sorry, I said a second later. I understand. We called the recommended hospices from the hospital lobby, but they all had a wait list. A wait list, Jude had said. Do they understand the premise of hospice? We pictured an intake coordinator making endless calls, crossing name after name off her list. Yes, I see. Maybe next time. Sloane says she's got to be out by tomorrow midday, Jude said, and passed me the cigarette we were splitting. We were not the only people huddled in our puffy jackets outside the famous cancer hospital, exhaling our stupidly robust good health away into the January cold, where clouds of smoke should have been gathering to form the words, "We're so fucked." There's a hospice up by us, I said. And Jude looked at me unblinkingly for a few beats. I live in western Massachusetts. He ground the butt under his heel, picked it up, and tossed it into a trash can. It's nice, I said. I've visited people there. It's an actual house. And, he said. I didn't know. I don't know, I said. Would that be crazy? To bring her up there? I mean, they're saying a week or 2, maybe even less. What would we do? Jude said. I really don't want to take Dash out of school. Yeah, no, I said. Don't do that. But I can't leave him, not now. I know. My hair was stuck in the zipper of my jacket, but I didn't bother trying to get it out. My eyes were watering from smoke and cold and also from the